The pop culture phenomenon is upon us. The sugary pink doll comedy Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
And the atomic bomb thriller Oppenheimer. The two films couldn't be more different, yet tens of thousands of fans have already bought tickets to see both films on the same day, making it a double feature. It's being called Barbenheimer. The craze is showing up on social media with fan-generated movie posters featuring both films. But which film to see first? The debate is on.
I think actually start your day with Barbie, then go straight into Oppenheimer.
This part was so cringe I had to bust out my phone and record it for the boys. Just some roasty complaining about how men ruined the world and women are oppressed.
This speech might have been relevant in the 50s or something. It's not even saying anything now.
Yeah, women aren't actually oppressed and just lie and complain because they're sociopathic children. This isn't news.
The whole Western world is designed to accommodate and favor them. Still, they cry oppression.
It just further demonstrates that women do not understand men and only see the world through their own lens. All of this, you have to perfect, you have to be pretty rhetoric, is 1000% between women. Sure, men like a nice pretty woman, but all these rules and societal pressure is all self-inflicted by women.
My girlfriends through my life always complain about wearing heels and how much it hurts. I tell them to just wear comfortable shoes, and they refuse. All these beauty standards they have are self-inflicted. Women enforce it on each other, then blame men.
Exactly. I don't like or care about heels in women. They still wear them. I don't like makeup in women. They just look worse and they just ruin their skin. Fake eyelashes, all that shit. Disgusting. I don't like fake tits. They still do them. I don't even care if their arms or legs are depilated. Usually their hairs are small either way. And I will not refuse pussy due to it. They still do it. I don't care about their slutty, uncomfortable dresses. They can dress something else, and I would even like it more. They still don't. I don't like extensions. They still put them on. I don't care about long nails. They still put them on and can't use their hands anymore. The only two things that I care about a woman is that she is clean and fairly slim, nothing else. Female beauty is just competition among themselves since they try to look better than one another. All suffering is self-inflicted.
We should be able to file a lawsuit that they made Goose get involved in this shit and tried to meme us into seeing it.
I did it for my TV bros.
Let's be real here. If Ryan Gosling wasn't in the movie, it would have never reached meme status, ever. Even though it released on the same day as Oppenheimer, I'd be willing to bet money that this movie would barely break even.
At best, people would use Margot Robbie screenshots for FAP material, and that would be it.
This is a TED Talk.
What the fuck I have to be likable for people to like me?
Women are so entitled. It's beyond narcissistic delusion. They are basically mentally retarded. I'm being completely serious.
Write the male equivalent to this scene.
A guy would start complaining about his problems, and then he would be immediately shut up and dismissed.
Needing to be a nice person is oppression. This is worse than I thought.
Women are oppressed. So oppressed they can make $100 million budget movies about it. This ain't 1940.
That's an unhinged rant with none of it being true. However, as soon as she started bitching that, "Wah, it's always a woman's fault. We have to do so much to get people to just like us," it suddenly became a very realistic rant. The "it's everyone's fault but my own that I'm disliked" speech is a classic copium rant. Always blame everyone else for the fact that maybe you're just a bitch that needs to reevaluate herself.
Women are constantly raging at men for things that other women judge them for. Feminism is in large part cope about the reality that women are competitive with each other. Why do I have to wear heels? It's certainly not men telling women to spend $800 on a pair of shoes.
Women are their own worst enemy.
And they're 100% going to blame their men for not keeping them on a tighter leash when they hit the bottom of their self-inflicted spiritual spiral.
What was the bitch about to say about my boy Zach?
Why can't they just make a Barbie movie where Barbie goes on an adventure and saves dolphins or something? Why does everything need to be politically subversive now?
Greta Gerwig made it. She is a one-trick pony.
Seriously, it goes on and on, just like in the Wonder Woman 2 ending where she just monologues insane shit.
Kids, ironically, will probably hate it. They want a fun, lighthearted Barbie movie like the cartoons, not a depressing series of mommy-age roasties giving increasingly unhinged woke TED Talk-length rants to them. They already get that in public school.
Men ruin the world and women are oppressed. This is true, though. And all the laws that fuck over men were made by other men.
They made those laws to appease women, though. Simps ruined the world.
Men built the world and women are consistently ungrateful. There, fix that for you.
What's jarring is that half of this shit doesn't even come from men, but competitive pressure from other women who are more conformist and, arguably, even more shallow than men are. A good deal of men, in fact, prefer a wholesome tomboy who don't give a fuck about looks or status.
That's why women always relentlessly bully tomboys like that, ostracize them, and try to shame them into wearing makeup and joining the feminist sisterhood bitch cult. Other women hate pleasant and appealing women like you, describe who step out of line and do everything they can to destroy them.
This is a fucking boilerplate millennial feminist truism whose core complaint is essentially being mad that society has any sort of expectation of them at all. Women.
Exactly. Society expects women do maintain the most basic semblance of human decency, and they act like it's horrific oppression.
You guys don't seem to get the grift. They are well aware of what they're doing, they just want more privileges. Funny how this cunt never made a commentary on the lonely loser men making e-girls millionaires overnight.
Wait, was she gonna say something about Zack Snyder?
She says being brainwashed is the same as being obsessed with the Snyder Cut.
What did my boy Zack ever do to get this kind of hate?
The whole "release the Snyder Cut" was like a second Trump election for the people in Hollywood. A grassroots movement of autists and podgeets forcing a big Hollywood studio to do what they wanted. The people in Hollywood are bitter and resentful over it.
This writing isn't even the type of shit you see actual leftists say anymore when it comes to feminism. This is just boring, liberal feminist spiel that was cool to say in the early 2000s. It's really fucking lame.
These are just safe corporate opinions for a corporate movie.
It's not even the contents of the speech that's unbearable, it's the speech itself. Why does the movie have this didactic shit in it? Literally talking down to the audience and preaching like a Twitter thread. It's obnoxious filmmaking.
I mean that the problem is that there's a speech at all. The movie doesn't even try to relay the themes and messages in an intelligent way. It flat out tells you what to think. It stares you right in the face, stands on a soapbox and lectures you. It's something you only see in Hollywood filmmaking, and it's the polar fucking opposite of what a movie, an audio-visual medium, is supposed to do.
Grace Rundolph said at her screening, a number of women stood up and clapped here.
Yeah, I believe it unironically. Even though it's not accurate, Ugly Betty's rant perfectly describes how brainwashed feminists feel about the world. Women are unable to take personal responsibility for anything and love playing the victim. The end rant encompasses everything modern femcilism is all about. Yes, queen.
Looks like AOC ranting in Congress. Still, she has simps, psycho eyes, and batshit crazy.
Vapid first world problems Karen rant cuts just as another Warner Brothers blockbuster production was going into another diss at Zack Snyder. I can't wait for the tide to turn. Zack doesn't deserve the hate at all.
Sarah Gadon would never act in such slop. Sarah Gadon is based and discerning with what roles she takes.
We have to be perfect. No one asks women to be perfect just to not be vapid, insufferable whores who let themselves go to shit. This is still too much for them.
Ken goes to the real world. First book he picks up from the library is pick-related.
UTF, why isn't my goy slop based in red pill?
Was she going to say Zack Snyder at the end?
Ken becomes radicalized by real-world patriarchy and converts all the Kens while Barbie is gone. When Barbie gets back, all the other Barbies have been brainwashed. When one is cured, she says, "It's so bizarre. I felt unusually invested in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League."
I have never heard anyone discuss the Snyder Cut once in real life. It's just something made the Hollywood seethe, because it was an example of a studio caving to the disgusting, filthy, unwashed masses.
Hollywood types are very insulated from the types of things actual people care and talk about. I'm sure in Gerwig's circle, the Snyder Cut dude bros are a huge issue that needs to be addressed.
Pretty bad form on the director's part. She would not stop mauling if Zack threw a dig at Greta Gerwig into Rebel Moon.
GF turns to me and whispers, "He's literally you. Every time Ken is on screen doing something, man, I might make it yet."
I feel like movies that had social or political commentary used to express that commentary through the actions and consequences of the characters. Now, movies literally just press pause so an actor can preach to you about what the correct opinions are for 5 minutes straight.
Never be rude, never be selfish, never show off so that people will like us. Okay, so what the person is describing is basic behavior for anyone that wants to be liked by anyone. It's literally don't be an asshole. How is that purely a female thing? Is it supposed to be our problem that some women are bipolar whack jobs who are attracted to men that do all this stuff?
You see, women are allowed to be rude, selfish attention whores, and if you say anything, you are mansplaining.
The Barbie movie could have been dumb fun, but it went the preachy route.
What is even this shit rant? Stay pretty for men? Everyone tries to be attractive to people they're interested in, be them men or women. Men are indeed primarily into physical beauty over everything else. Women knows this, and therefore use makeup to fake looking better. Nobody is forcing them to do this. They do it because it makes them look more attractive to the people/person they are interested in. Women are primarily into socioeconomic status over everything else. So they will pick men as long-term relationships, based upon their social and economical situation, and they will not date down in that hierarchy. This shit rant tries to paint women as victims of the dating scene, which is hilarious. Female incels does not exist.
It makes sense when you realize that women don't consider men below their desired socioeconomic status as human beings, let alone potential partners. When you only ever consider maybe the top 5% of the reproductive age male population as potential partners, the dating scene does start to look grim.
Real question here, when did victim culture become an American thing?
We changed from championing the come-up and the underdog to gleefully watching any and everyone's downfall once it became abundantly clear to X and millennials there was no meritocracy and bootstraps to pull.
Wow! The female icon movie is for women? Gee Willikers/TV/ I'm fucking shitting my pants, I'm so surprised.
Movie about dolls for little girls. Grown-ass men get upset for some reason.
You're not allowed to voice your disapproval for our propaganda.
I'm sure if someone made a movie about, I don't know, toy trucks for little boys and turned it into a platform for his incel red pill manifesto, women would be like, that's okay, it's not for me.
Upcoming Hot Wheels movie will be...
This sounds like an incel rant with a woman's face on it.
This is literally a female incel movie, Omao. No, why do men only like pretty bimbos? They should like me instead.
I think to myself, wow, this Barbie movie looks wacky and shit and Ryan Gosling is in it. Looks like something crazy out of the 90s. It's just more propaganda. Nuke the USA, please. Literally, what more do women want? They have everything, they have no responsibilities. They can even kill their own children if they don't want to deal with them. They have instant social groups anywhere they go at any time. No woman ever has to sleep alone if she doesn't want to. And even if you make the argument that sex for women is different than for men, sure, of course, but she always has men available to take her out on dates, no matter what they do better in school. They do better in the workforce. They have affirmative action. Everyone wants to help women. No one gives a shit about men. I am begging someone to please explain what women even fucking want.
They want to complain. That's why they hate men who complain. It's a feminine thing to do.
Imagine paying to watch someone rant on screen like a weak bitch. If this was a man speaking to other men, they would tell him to shut the fuck up.
No, why are expected to have standards, most of which apply also to men? How could this be happening to me? Oh.
Why is like 80% of feminism just about dating and sleeping around anyway?
Feminism is a meme by ugly fat women to devalue young, beautiful women.
They can just not do those things. Plenty of women don't do those things. You do not actually have to fit in with the e-girl Instagram moms or whatever. There are many ways to have a happy life that don't require maximizing the number of people that like you or even know you exist.
They say shit like this and then turn around and make the lives of their husbands, boyfriends a living hell.
Have women tried being more likable?
No. They just say they're under a big burden to be so, and then turn around and act like the worst person you've ever met.
Between this, She-Hulk, and The Handmaid's Tale, I'm starting to seriously think feminist women have a misogyny fetish and are getting off to it. I get that it's normal to like movies with things you don't like occasionally in them, but if everything you write portrays men as toxic, sexist assholes, and you are going to see it over and over, it really seems like you secretly want it to happen.
Men make women feel conscious when they look at them. Men make women feel conscious when they don't look at them. I'm tired, just fuck off.
Is this the incel containment thread?
Yeah, all the incels who like Barbie are getting out of control.
Ken's Barbie land is filled with maids. He just like me for real.
It's called the Kendom.
It comes across as the woman equivalent of /R9K/schizo rant.
Capitalist feminism.
What is this, the 1960s? No one even expects this out of women or holds them to this standard. Sounds like the writers are living in the past.
They are living in their heads, which is much worse.
Let me green text the relevant parts to the lead up to the controversial speech clip. At some point, Ken takes the time to learn about how men are treated in the real world. He takes a lot of things at face value, including off-the-cuff info from strangers and reading books he takes from a library. Ken thinks this/patriarchy is awesome. Decides to go back to Barbie Land to tell everyone. Stuff happens with Barbie herself before she heads back to Barbie Land. She gets back to Barbie Land to find that the Kens took over and are toxic masculinity stereotypes, including taking over the Barbies' houses and being dude bro beer drinkers. Most of the Barbies in Barbie Land become subservient and/or eye candy stereotypes. President Barbie, Judge Barbie, Dr. Barbie, whatever they were are all maids, stewardesses, cheerleaders, etc. Now, stereotypical main Barbie and RL mother-daughter try to convince things shouldn't be this way and argue with main Ken. All the Barbies say she's nuts and they're happy. Stereotypical Barbie has a breakdown. RL mother and daughter leave. They come back after some guilt, find Barbie at Weird Barbies, a kind of self-aware and wise Barbie. Find out weirder Barbies are there and they call whatever happened to the Barbies brainwashing. Speech happens. They use mini speeches like that to break Barbies out of the brainwashing, but basically there's no lead up or gradual happening. All the Barbies just become subservient for some reason. Everyone was laughing at this in the theater though up until the speech happened.
All the Barbies say she's nuts and they're happy. I see. So any woman that doesn't hate men is simply brainwashed according to Greta.
That is typically the idea behind all feminist theory. As the other Anon said, all of the Barbies in the Ken dystopia are doing demeaning work like being maids, stewardesses, and cheerleaders. This obviously shows Noah and Greta's female solidarity with lower-class women and/or women who enjoy their own sexuality. It really is just a bourgeoisie bohemian ideology. Really spiteful people.
Whereas when men watch a movie like, say, Titanic, we see the lower-class men shoveling the coal and getting the doors locked on them. We empathize with those men and root them on. When feminists see a woman that they deem lower status, they mock and ridicule her and wonder how she could ever live such a boring and uneventful life. Really, really nasty, spiteful people.
All the Barbies say she's nuts and they're happy. So even if you're a woman who's an artist, writer, creator, someone in power, but you're in any way agreeable with men, then you're simply brainwashed.
That's the goal of feminism, to always be at war with men.
I'm confused. Women aren't nice. They bully men all the time on social media. The only reason they don't do it in real life is because they're scared of us.
My face when the Barbies plan to overthrow the Kens unintentionally yet perfectly explains why wars have been waged for over 10,000 years.
Barbie was secretly meant to red-pill young men on the woman problem.
What I learned from Barbie is that all it takes is for one good man to put his foot down and tell bitches to stay in their place, and feminism crumbles instantly.
Women are the biggest bitches to each other. There is no sisterhood.
This man fucks. Women are the most two-faced, backstabbing creatures to ever exist. A woman's best lifelong BFF will try and fuck her friend's boyfriend and husband 99% of the time. And if she succeeds in fucking him, will claim it was test. I don't get how this moral is supposed to work. So Barbie Land is supposed to be opposite of real life. Where they believe in real life it's patriarchy and Barbies it's matriarchy. But then when Ken does his revolt, that obviously means it's equivalent of their feminism. So by saying Ken was in the wrong in Barbie Land, you are saying feminism is wrong in real world. Because the Barbies have these speeches about women, but here's the deal. Barbies are their version of men, and the Kens are their version of real world's women since it operates on gender opposites. So the President Barbie speech in Barbie Land would be equivalent of someone giving a speech about how bad men have it in real world. The Barbies live in Barbie Land. They don't know how real world operates. They have no concept of patriarchy. So their experiences and complaints are about what they experienced in Ken Revolution, which is feminism. What she's talking about is men's life when feminism happens in real life. Or did they just not think that much about it?
Feminist batards don't think very much about anything.
They wanted the see men. Imagine if you had to experience the struggles women face, but also have the look at this man trying to impose his will on women, so toxic. Because if they stuck with the first, they'd have to make women the bad guys, even if metaphorically they are meant to represent men.
My life is so fucking hard. Do Hollywood feminists really?
I don't get half of what they were trying to do, but Gosling's musical piece at the end was enough for me to enjoy the movie. How the fuck is that guy such a versatile actor?
This looks cringe, but I love /our boy/Ryan, and it looks like he had a lot of fun with this movie.
America is a mental illness. There are grown men willingly subjecting themselves to this, and critics calling it an important, intellectual event in the cultural life in the American nation. A movie about a little girl toy doll manufactured by some capitalistic brand ideologically lecturing the cattle masses. This is vital, meaningful high art for burger adults, and they willingly pay money to watch this.
We live in a society moment for women.
Name-dropping Zack Snyder at the end. Snyder derangement syndrome is a real thing.
Well, Mao, Snyder Chads will get insane street cred after this.
Jesus H. Christ. I'm so glad I didn't fall for the Barbenheimer meme. Just wait for the YouTube clips with all the Ryan Gosling scenes.
Mogged by Gone Girl a decade ago.
Society becomes really strange and nonsensical once you realize women aren't actually human.
Reminder that thousands of retards on this website fell for viral marketing and paid to see this.
Men like women who are nice, healthy, and attractive in their own way. Men expect the world from us and give nothing in return. Everything is our fault. We need to be their mother, their friend, their whore. We need to bend over backwards to please them without a single thank you.
What's with the cringy AOC impression?
I don't even mind the idea of a Barbie movie as a vehicle for women's issues. But a lot of these types of movies just feel like sitting in a lecture hall or having the director rant in your face. There is absolutely no subtlety to anything here. It might as well break the fourth wall and have Margot Robbie stare directly into the camera at this point. I mean, why not?
I want this damn hoodie, bros. It looks comfy.
Hey up, you still working on that bomb that kills people? You know me, Albert. This is how we blow it.
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen. Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
What's next?
1.
Is the 15 minutes long sex scene true or just a meme?
It's closer to 12, but, and I shit you not about this, when he's coming, he quietly says, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds."
Has sex with commie woman. Now I am become Cummer, the cedar of wombs. Bravo, Nolan!
Is this a joke?
You gotta be kidding me.
Bravo, Nolan.
Nolan must browse TV, right? This whole scenario feels straight out of a shitposting thread 18 months ago.
See a naked woman. Start uttering, "I am death. I am death. I am death."
Cillian has replaced Ryan for literally me.
I will never take mainstream film rating sites seriously ever again.
It must be edited. I don't believe Nolan would use the "I become death" quote for a completely unnecessary sex scene.
I just watched. The scene is literally Oppenheimer goes to a commie party, bangs this commie chick. In the middle of sex, she gets up and goes to a bookshelf, takes the Bhagavad Gita and asks him to read it while mounting him.
Damn, Jewish women are freaky like that.
She wasn't Jewish.
But now she is.
That's not how it works.
Oppenheimer making his speech after dropping the bomb, trying to think of something profound to say. Remembers that one time he had sex and the chick pulled out the Bhagavad Gita. Perfect. I am become death.
The real Oppenheimer would probably strangle Nolan in an incel rage BTW.
Nolan saw the despondent, tortured look on Oppenheimer's face in the Bhagavad Gita interview and decided the only thing that could have caused it was remembering having sex with Florence Pudge. Unironically, bravo.
Dare I say, Kino?
Was Nolan always this much of a fucking retard?
Now, before we go any further, say the line, Oppie. Can't I just put it in? Say it or no Khazar Coochie for you. I am become death. Destroyer of worlds. Ha ha ha. Fucks him, Kino.
Reading Gita during sex. Elamau Indians are gonna get crazy mad over this.
Naked tits of a white woman. Their Sanskrit dribbles. In one scene, they're gonna literally shit themselves.
Bravo. Nolan, Bravo.
I Am Become Death is used for a random sex scene.
Nolan Kino used to be without nudity and unnecessary sex scenes. What the fuck happened to him?
Bravo.
If anyone ever within 10 meters of me states that Nolan is a good director, I will smash their face with a brick.
Nolan is a good director.
Interstellar was a good movie, I don't care what TV says.
The Man Who Saved TV.
Nolan makes the protagonist say that sex with a fat woman is becoming death. /TV/ hates him. I don't get it.
Discord transies who are shilling for Barbie are pretending Nolan isn't shitpost Kino and seething at demonstrations of Nolan producing shitpost Kino, as always.
Do artists really?
Let's just write in some crazy sexual shit and cast a stuffed Thanksgiving turkey.
I think she looks sexy and cute in that scene, though girls that are too attractive aren't as good to slam their ass cheeks with lots of strength without pity.
Holy fucking shit, I'm in tears. Honest to God, I haven't laughed so hard in years.
Time to apologize, TV.
I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Nolan. Barbie never stood a chance.
Say the line, Oppie.
My la penis, it la fucked people?
Is this the same fucking guy that directed Memento and The Prestige? Get the fuck out of here, Nolan. I know you lurk here, you fucking bag.
I can't believe I've spent all these years defending the plane scene for this fucking hack.
The plane scene is a good stunt.
You're a big guy.
Unfucking believable, what a hack.
I Am Become Death Destroyer of Pusey Lolly.
I Am Become.
This has to be fake, right?
The most autistic nerds in the world used to get endless pussy. What happened?
Now I am come inside, breeder of wounds.
I Am Become Hard, destroyer of cunt.
This is unironically worse than that Cumtown bit, imagining Oppenheimer coming up with a cool line to say in the shower the night before. What the fuck was Nolan thinking?
Nolan definitely shitposts among us.
It's real.
Bravo, Nolan.
I love that long pause, as if he's having an epiphany reflecting on this incredibly profound quote.
Nolan truly is one of the directors of all time.
Destroyer of slips in and his voice becomes a squeak. Worlds.
Bravo, Nolan.
I thought you guys were joking till now.
I Am Become Sneed, destroyer of chucks.
Does anyone have that scene where they're fucking in front of Emily Blunt?
No fucking way. This gotta be a shitpost. I didn't believe until I watched it myself. She literally shows him the I Am Become Death quote while riding his penis.
Look at this book on my tits. Wow, I am become the reader of books. 10/10, Kino Nolan does it again.
Imagine being Cillian in that scene and having to be all like, damn, Florence Pugh, you fucking fine. All sexy with your oatmeal body and horrific Brit Bong Chav face. I would totally have sex with you, both my character and the real me. When all he really wants to do is run through a field pointing a gun at his head. Like, seriously imagine having to be Cillian, and not only sit in that chair while Florence Pugh flaunts her disgusting body in front of you, the favorable lighting barely concealing her stretch marks and flabby stomach, and just sit there, take after take, hour after hour, while she perfected opening that Bhagavad Gita. Not only having to tolerate her monstrous fucking visage, but her haughty attitude as everyone on set tells her she's still got it, and damn, Florence Pugh looks like that? Because they're not the ones who have to sit there and watch her porcine fucking gremlin face contort into types of grimaces you didn't even know existed before that day. You've been filming nothing but a healthy diet of Danny Boyle and Nolan flicks and later alleged Ken Loach movies for your entire career, coming straight out of the boonies in Ireland. You've never even seen anything this fucking disgusting before. And now you swear you can taste the sweat that's breaking out on her gyno chest as she puffs it out to writhe it suggestively at you, smugly assured that you are enjoying the opportunity to get paid to sit there and revel in her Rubenesque, for that is what she calls herself, beauty. The beauty she worked so hard for with personal trainers in the previous months. And then Chris calls for another take. And you know you could kill every single person in this room before the studio security could put you down, but you sit there and endure. Because you're fucking Cillian Murphy. You're not going to lose the next season of Peaky Blinders over this. Just bear it. Hide your face and bear it. When all he really wants to do is run through a field pointing a gun at his head.
This can't be real.
Yay, Nolan, this shit is going to be epic. Write that shit in.
Bravo.
Says he's destroyer of worlds while being the creator of life as he ejaculates into her fertile womb. Bravo, Nolan. I love you.
Bravo.
Kino confirmed?
Plap, 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 become death, become death, become death.
I am become death, destroyer of sperm.
It's all a joke. It's all just one big joke at this point.
Holy fuck. Now I am become Kino.
No, read the words. It's just a bunch of squiggly lines.
It's some kind of elvish, I can't read it.
That's the Daedric alphabet. I am become slotslights.net, the bringer of cam rips.
I am become Sir, the redeemer of gift cards.
Is Nolan just a successful NWR? He's equally autistic but can sell his shit so normies feel smart.
Nolan wouldn't make Only God Forgives. He has an insatiable need of making mainstream movies with autism. Refn makes autistic movies with Down syndrome. I won't have sex with you unless you can read this. Okay, it says, having a little trouble with the lighting in here. This won't be a perfect translation. Nolan made an Am-Become origin story.
Was getting cock part of your plan?
Those tits really put the UGG in Puke.
Say what you will about Nolan, his movies are always talked about.
Damn, Florence Pugh looks like that?
Brainlets think this is anti-Kino. Not realizing the Nolan's ingenious thematic reference to Downardian Kino of the nuclear bomb's creation and detonation as the ultimate alchemical symbolic representation of sex and death and fusion of opposites in the Masonic ritualistic call to chaos. All I can say is bravo.
Bravo, Nolan.
I heard the movie also spends an inordinate amount of runtime on Louis Strauss and Oppenheimer's hearing, probably the most boring and least interesting part of his life story. Who gives a fuck about anti-communist Senate hearings from the 50s? I think I'll have more fun imagining the faces of the retards who paid for those IMAX 70mm tickets than actually going to watch this trash.
Commies are still seething about it to this day.
Nolan pushing for Oscar nominations.
Anyone else burst out laughing at the Kinoplex?
You guys need to look at it this way. That might have been cliché for him to say it after the bomb, almost comical that he had a catchphrase ready. Him saying it because she flipped open to a random page and he just read what was in front of him is creepy when you think about it. He read his own future and he didn't even know it yet, implying he is meant to become this.
She moves his wainer when he says the catchphrase.
It's funny he could keep it up when she whipped out the book while nagging him.
If this was ironic or meta-ironic, it would be Kino. But I think this is unironic, which makes it terrible.
Nolan supplies the cringe. We supply the irony. This is how it's done.
My genuine reaction.
Op's face.
Oppie blows his load inside Pugh's ass, realizes that he just killed like 1 billion of sperms. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Bravo, Nolan.
This felt like when they say the name of a movie in it.
Films, pudges, sloppy nipples in IMAX.
I am becoming for you.
Didn't he say this line after an explosion?
He also says it every time he explodes in a pussy.
Her tits are the destroyer of boners.
Read The Sexual Cycle of Human Warfare, and then you will understand this scene. Women are behind war. Women are behind death. They are the destroyers, because destruction shakes up the gene pool, allows them to see what men are worthy to plant their seed in their womb. The nuclear bomb was a fertilization event, the mushroom cloud, the blooming of a new life. What followed this event? The integration of East and West. Lots of fucking the baby boom generation. This movie is coming out now because women are, again, sexually frustrated, and a new fertilization event is approaching. Thus, the COVID shit, largely run by women-dominated media. Thus, BLM, largely run by women. Thus, the Russia-Ukraine war, the propaganda largely pushed by the female. This is Dune-level Bene Gesserit shit. Take your meds.
Top Cat. Loa LeMayo even. Just stop it, Nolan. You are a hack.
Typical Nolan. So a woman caused the creation of the atomic bomb?
Based and red-pilled Nolan revealing true evil nature of women by giving them credits for creating weapons of mass destruction. I kneel.
Bravo, Cristoforo Bravissimo.
Not gonna lie, I unironically clapped.
And cut. Print it. Chris, that was amazing. You're a goddamn genius, Chris. Spectacular. Never seen anything like it. It's amazing to work with a director like you, Chris. I'm blessed. You're a big guy.
Is Nolan really implying that a whore's ultimate sexual power fantasy was the true inspiration for the bomb? Imagine what a submissive cuck Nolan is sexually.
Who the fuck talking about death while having sex? How much of an artist Nolan is?
OP, post that scene where Oppie fucks Pugh in front of the committee.
What the fuck is the context of this?
You don't need context when you're making Kino.
Movie has these hallucination scenes that are related to mental states of characters just because Hoitima and all the tech would have gone to waste otherwise. In this scene, they are interrogating him about banging the commie chick, and it's supposed to convey how naked their personal lives are in front of the committee.
Da Fook is this movie?
Christopher Nolan has to be the biggest hack in cinema history.
Now I am become Hack, the destroyer of Kinos.
AM acting.
Your face when you realize you have to do a nude scene with Pew.
The destroyer of world's face.
Give him all the Oscars.
This is the ultimate Bravo Nolan moment. Nothing will ever top this.
Peak Kino.
If only you knew how become death I really am.
This is straight up shitposting from a /TV/thread.
Not gonna lie, this is one of the most Kino things Nolan has done. Imagine the screeching from Reddit as he comes while reciting the line.
Read the exact famous words the entire history of the world knows you for while fucking me on the silver screen. Unironically, how I'd want my legacy.
I don't know why everyone is shit-talking the sex scene. This movie is legit. The only time I found Florence Pugh hot. Her tits are pretty great, not huge, but well-shaped.
Maybe you're just used to only getting ugly women, Anon.
There's so much cum, and it's all coming out of my penis. I can't believe it. Really, Nolan?
I remember the line this absolute slampig forced me to read while she rode me into a coma.
I am become Chad, destroyer of pussies.
When I saw the bomb detonate, I was immediately reminded of a passage some broad I cucked my wife with showed me while I was banging her. Bitch was crazy.
Is this the scene where she's imagining him cheating on her? Kinda hot, I can't lie.
Base Nolan making his wife watch.
Cuck Queen Kino.
Nolan always wanted to direct a porno.
I can't believe this is real.
I am become. Penis is inserted into vagina. The destroyer of world's imacum.
I am become penis, extremely erect.
I am become erect, destroyer of pussies.
I've become Lakume, destroyer of seed.
Unfucking believable.
Kino.
Oppen penis.
Imagine being Emily Blunt in this scene.
I have come destroyer of Florence's pussy.
Is this shit really necessary? Do we need a scene about doing it Oppenheimer style in a movie about the guy who blew up 500,000 slants?
How the fuck this shit is related to nuclear bombs?
Bombs?
Yeah, you know, bombs. Titties, breastises, milk jugs, booba, big titty jumbos, sweater meats, gozangas, twins. Bombs. Some actresses have huge fucking bombs and their nips get hard when they're horny. It's science.
The dude who nuked Japan got to fuck that. Now I want to nuke Japan.
I'd eat her logs.
Get in line.
Holy hell, that's a grade A slam piece. Bomb makers get all the best pussy.
I thought only incels wanted billions to die.
Can someone explain to me what drawn-out intricate sex scenes add to a movie other than awkwardness?
Character.
Sex is one of the most fundamental parts of human existence.
Cuck Queen is objectively the most Kino fetish TBF.
Female cuckold?
Was it just me, or that exact shot showed what I thought was Cillian's cock?
Scenes like this are for women only. Loom at this guy. One the most powerful men on in history, and he succumbs to pussy like a puddle of water. Women get off hard AF to shit like this, akin to how men get off to violent action movies.
This could apply to the part where they first fuck. But if you saw the movie, you know this scene is to show the weight of the cuckoldry Oppie's wife felt from both the original time she found out about the affair and the exposure of this issue to the world through the hearings.
Destroyer of wombs.
That was his nickname after the Manhattan Project ended and could get back to cuck his wife.
I am become Erection, destroyer of the Poozy.
Jesus Christ, is this movie really so sexual? I'm going to see this with my parents, LOL.
Nolan is trying to do sex scenes now? Jesus Christ. Calling it now, they're gonna be the most awkward sex scenes in history because he's a literal autist that doesn't understand sexuality. His movies so far have nearly all been entirely asexual, and what little interaction there was between the men and women was platonic as fuck. Couple all this with the fact that Nolan takes one take for nearly all his fucking scenes, hence why almost all the performances in his movies are terrible. You're no doubt going to get the cringiest sex scenes in cinema history. Yet every NPC is going to pretend that they're fantastic because that's what they do with Nolan for some reason. Looking forward to the memes, at least.
The I am become death speech is first read from a book as Pugh sticks Oppenheimer's dick inside of her and starts to ride him. And as retarded as that is, it's shot and directed as if Nolan has had sex before, which is a bit of a surprise.
My honest-to-God reaction to the first sex scene in the movie pic-related that original scene is only made to build up for OP's pic scene, and the drama it generates.
Pugh looks pretty hot in this, not gonna lie.
She is incredibly hot in all the scenes where she isn't naked. She really nailed the psychotic, arrogant commie persona.
Wait a sec. He reads Bhagavad Gita while having sex. Imao. I bet there won't be any backlash like Quran burning.
How the fuck do you pronounce her name? Pew? Pug? Puff?
It's pronounced Slampic.
Wow, what a kino juxtaposition. I really enjoy the look of deep contemplation Cillian Murphy has as Oppenheimer both comes to terms with the demons inside of him and comes inside a stinky pussy after a long, prolonged, sweaty, smelly fuck session with his slampig bravo Nolan. You've done it again. I wonder if the mediocre pussy was worth being labeled a commie for the rest of his life.
You know that bomb reminds me of some Indian bullshit I once fuck I'm about to come.
2 nuts were dropped.
ITT, times you fucked like Oppenheimer.
I had sex with Florence Pugh and then killed thousands of Japanese civilians.
After I dropped a nut on both her titties, I stepped back pensively, stroked my beard and said, "Now I am become sex, defiler of women."
He fucks pig women with awful political delusions and dreadful tits. He's just like me.
Pugh is 27. Killian is 47. Where's the outrage?
Son of A.
Actually quite pertinent since Pugh was dating Zach Braff Earl and they broke up because everyone kept shaming them over the age difference.
Oh man, 2 grown adults.
Not an excuse, Chuck.
That's grooming!
Women only reach adulthood after death, you sick fuck.
It's literally rape.
Is there really a sex scene in this movie? Fucking psychotic. Just talk about the bomb and shit, not everything has to be about sex.
They do an X-ray style thing where you see him jizzing in her womb, and it looks like a mushroom cloud.
That was too much kino for Nolan. He had to settle for reading the I am become death quote while balls deep.
Yeah, near the end of it he says, "Now I am come," and they cut to pick related. Powerful stuff.
The way she repositions herself so you know his dick is inside her right before he says the line. Bravo Nolan.
Why was he releasing shit for normie retards for so many years and hiding this kino level? This is fantastic.
I cannot believe this is real. It's like an extremely expensive shitpost. Like if he puts a Sayabane reference in the movie.
How the fuck can memes become so real?
Bravo Nolan. No fucking way. Does Nolan browse TV? Kino. Holy fucking Kino. Straight out of a green text. Nolan browses TV. Kino. Oink. Is this actually in the movie or am I being trolled? It's hard to believe Nolan produced something this retarded. Bro, did you see Tenet? This is mild in comparison. Livin' the Bhagavad Gita Loka. Fucking A, Nolan. Holy mother of Kino, Nolan outdid himself. Bane poster's been real quiet since this dropped. Never stop making movies, Nolan. Nolan, you motherfucker, you always deliver. Audience desperately waiting for the famous line to drop. Drop it unceremoniously in the middle of a sex scene. This was 100% a troll on Nolan's part. What the fuck is wrong with Nolan, Jesus Christ? Oppenheimer saw the atomic bomb explosion and thought about that time he was nutting into his mistress. Bravo. Bomb goes off. Opie leans in closer to his female colleague. You know, Air. This reminds me of that one time I was reading the Bhagavad Gita. Why were you reading that? No reason. Using the most famous Oppenheimer quote for a sex scene with Florence Pugh. Nolan does it again, bravo. Bravo, Nolan. Please tell me it cuts to a nuclear explosion as he nuts. Bomb? More like womb. Christopher, we're not rated R for nothing, baby. Nolan just left the theater with the biggest boner ever. Flo Pug has excellent nipples. Does high IQ correlate with horrendous taste in women? He wasn't exactly a looker either. Those two are exactly in his league.
Women just used to be ugly, that's all.
People used to be a whole lot uglier because of disease and malnutrition and such.
TFW just had sex, I am become comer of cums.
TV's shit posting wasn't far off from the actual movie.
Oppenheimer was a Shitoso in his beliefs on mysticism. Completely on brand for both seeing the bomb and fucking the chick.
He was actually schizophrenic. legit diagnosed.
Indians keep talking about this quote and how they want to see it in the movie. Nolan puts it in a sex scene, so it will probably be censored in their country. What did he mean by this?
I hope India bans this movie. It's disrespectful to their ancient text.
Did his wife really just watch him fuck other women?
His wife is just picturing him cheating on her as he confesses on trial.
Looked at the spy's Wikipedia page and it's literally the Chudden Lao.
Billions must die.
Tempted to watch now. There is nothing better than getting a guff, building up her trust and then seeing if you can make her into a bitch.
I am become death, the destroyer of girls.
Why is he holding a mini fridge?
This Anon has become death, destroyer of my sides.
If only you knew how become death I really am.
Looks like Nolan has finally lost his mind.
I am become death, slayer of puss.
When Oppenheimer said I have become law, death while fucking that dumb communist bitch, I knew the rest of the film was going to be shit.
You're exactly. This is why I'm not going to see Oppenheimer now. Kind of made the decision to go see Barbie instead on Sunday.
3 seconds of female nipples. What the fuck, Nolan? No, I can't watch it with my parents. Thanks, asshole.